Hello, my loves. I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing, and everyone that's here. So, we're talking about narcissistic abuse, but we're talking about what's not talked about beyond what's being mainly covered anyway, what's mainly being missed, which is that we can actually heal trauma, and there's energetic ways to do that and accelerate that. And there's a spiritual aspect of this that's being majorly overlooked, which is why we're staying in these cognitive dissonance patterns, basically just, not really seeing what it is fully. And we're not treating it fully because we have to do it in an integrated way, in a full approach. So our spiritual sovereignty, energetic sovereignty, physical and mental sovereignty is the solution, which is why I'm running Sovereign. That is going to be different to anything you've ever experienced. It's not, I'm taking you on a spiritual ascension as well. I'm not just going to teach you the same things you already know, although I will be supporting you live with what you're going through. I'll be taking you through trauma release, right? And other things I don't think you'd have experienced in other places. But so you understand this, right? When we've got unhealed wounds, they've got hooks into us. When we've got a weak energetic field, they've got hooks into us. When we've got past trauma and karma and stuff that we haven't awakened from spiritually, they can hook into us. When there's nothing to hook into, they can't pillage our life force energy. So we have to get in a sovereign state. So there's nothing for them to feed off, right? This involves a spiritual awakening, which is what you're doing here by listening to what I'm talking about. You're raising your consciousness. You're seeing it for what it really is. That's an element of it. The trauma release, which is so much easier from a regulated nervous system, which involves balancing our energetic field, no consent psychically, and other things I'm talking to you about. The conscious awareness, which starts changing our subconscious blueprint, basically, and mind, and understanding what it really is. So Sovereign launches, we're going to officially start March 6th to April 17th, but the group will open on Wednesday. If you're interested in joining that, I don't think it'll be like anything you've experienced, right? And it is going to ascend you. It's going to awaken you even more. And when you awaken spiritually and energetically and have got a stronger energetic field, there's not this reminiscing, because most people are trying to deal with something on the level of the mind, which is why I'm not going into the psychology too much, because you can't solve this problem on the mind level. You've got to solve it beyond the mind level, because it's an attack on a multidimensional level. The solution to narcissism is actually our awakening. So we live in an ecosystem, in a universe of free will, which means if we consent to our energy being given away, even though we're not intentionally doing it, our psychic energy, our emotional energy, all that stuff, we're fueling the thing. Yeah? And while we do that, the balance isn't restored, because we're actually part of the fuel for the problem. So we have to take all our energy back. So the narcissist, the entity, isn't feeding on us, at which point they will have their own dark night of the soul, karma hitting them, and awakening, right? So we're doing everyone a favor through our own awakening. It's not to fight. It's not to, which I thought about at one time, see if we could put them all on their own island. It's nothing like that, right? It's to awaken ourselves. We do all of this ourselves. It's our work on ourselves that makes the change. And in this ecosystem, the dominant energy wins. So the more of us enlightened, the more of us in our sovereign power, right, the less this can exist. It would be like a tannoy going off in the universe to the narcissist in consciousness, because everything's consciousness, everything's for entity in the universe, right? And energy. Be like this. As they're not able to start, as they're now having to be starved of your life force, our life force as a collective. It's like, good morning, all narcissists. This is your friendly earth angel. As you will have noticed, there is no one much for you to feed off. And you are now entering a dark night of the soul. Your karma will now be hitting you, and you will feel like you're in your own personal hell. There is nothing you can do to avoid this process. It is a very long journey, and you'll be much better on the other side. An evolved human being. Sorry, my phone. An evolved human being coming back to your soul. Please do not call us for any more questions. see you on the other side. That's what happens. The consciousness gets rebalanced. I'm only joking with the earth angel. Well, I'm not really joking with the earth angel stuff. Good morning, all narcissists. This is your earth angel on the tannoy. You are now realizing that you are going through your own very dark night of the soul. Very long process into their awakening, and when they awaken, they reattach to their soul. They will feel in a dark night of the soul, spiritually, emotions again. They will have to take accountability for what they've done. They'll feel it. Because the thing with a narcissist being an empty vessel is they're not accountable because they don't feel it. They feed off your pain and they don't care about it. They don't care about how you feel. They don't care about what they do to you, only in as much as it's like filling their car up at the petrol station, the gas tank, you know? So by our own awakening, there's nothing for them to hook onto, but we have to do it on a multidimensional way, not just in our physical body, definitely not just in therapy, talking and getting nowhere, if that's what you're doing. If it has helped you and you've awakened, that's brilliant. But if you're still going through PTSD and trauma, it's the spiritual and the energetic solutions I'm talking about to trauma that gets it out of the way. In my world, we're not looking to manage these symptoms. We're looking to evolve and heal and go on to then manifest our best life. That's what I'm here for. And that involves becoming a sovereign being. So if you want to join Sovereign, drop me an email at elliefrost.com. And if you aren't able to do that, don't worry. Like, I'm just going to keep sharing. Just by listening to these transmissions, your consciousness is being elevated because I channel a high conscious awareness, right? So that's why it's resonating with you. You can feel it's true. I don't have to convince you of this stuff. You already know inside. Your soul knows. Our sovereignty, emotionally, energetically, physically, spiritually, is what matters. That's the solution to narcissism. Not trying, and where we've gone wrong is trying to fix them. Let me try and help you. Let me try and fix you. Let me try and love this out of you. Rather than let me come into my own sovereignty in all of these multidimensional ways, and that's what's been missing, and allow you to have your own awakening, right? Which will not be the most pleasant thing for them to do. They'll have to experience their karma. Again, if you're connected, they're sharing your energetic field, which means they're sharing your karma. Right? So they're also protected from their karma. It's a free will universe. You're part of the counterpart that's fueling them. You know, we can't be their food. Otherwise, we get depleted. They don't awaken and the planet gets a bit shitty. Let's be honest, right? So we need the earth angels on the tannoy, but they need us spiritually to wake up. So just by being here shows me how much people are waking up. Just the fact that so many of you are getting what I'm saying shows me how ready we are for this and how easy it can be. You are not, in my world, going to go through years and years of healing, right? That's not okay. That's not what we're here for. There is so much other stuff for us to do, right? So there is a lesson to be learned from narcissism, and that is your spiritual, energetic, emotional, and physical sovereignty. That's what we have to claim. And that's how we break all the generational stuff, all the curses, all the lineage, and evolve, start fresh again and go on to higher and higher levels of consciousness. That's where we are right now. So it's actually quite an exciting time, even though what you've been through is extremely heavy and what I've been through is extremely heavy. My abuse years, like a lot of yours, went on for a long time, and some of it was extremely brutal. It just, you know, things you don't think you're ever going to get over, but I know how you can. And I also know how to take you through it quicker. That in that 6 weeks, you're just going to go through an elevation. You're going to get clarity, you're going to get wisdom, and you're going to get changed in a positive way, in a way where you're not living off fear, you're not in these emotions that are fueling the entity, because that's not going to work for us anymore, right? That's not how we're supposed to be. And by doing that, you see, and strengthening the energetic field, like I said in the last video, we come into our intuition, our guidance system, our truth, our knowing. So we can't fall into these traps, and we break old cycles, old karma, and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, the work I do is kind of like what I talked to you about. It's not, I'm working on all levels with you, spiritually, consciously, so that you're active in this, you get what you're doing. It actually starts clicking, making sense and setting you free. So yeah, let me know if you are able to join that. You don't have to be there for the videos. I drop like, there's a module a week, and then there's like a bit like I do on YouTube, like pieces that come out. Not many, it's not a ton, but give you time to look at them, think through them. It's not an overload. But I drop it in stages throughout that week. You have lifetime access to the modules and the community, right? So it's a fun place to be. And I think that's if you want to go deeper right now on that. I know people saying to me, when will you do that again? I don't know. That just feels like what I should be doing right now. I've run it for 3 years, actually, to be honest with you. I've run different versions of it, and this is the latest one. So it'll be the best one. But I ran it this time-ish last year, and I'm now running it now. But so I'm not sure if I'll do it again. So if you like it, I would get into it. Even if you're not there for all of it, it doesn't matter. You're going to have lifetime access, so you should just pick it up, from where you can. That's what I would recommend. I can't, because it's a live one. It's not one I offer self-study at the moment, because this work, when it's really involving a lot of trauma, it needs to be done live. And I'm not really happy to put that as a self-study. Although I do trauma release in all my other programs, right? We're not dealing with the deep stuff that this is. So I think you need to be in a live supported experience when it's not that my work re-traumatizes you, it doesn't. It's a bit like an energetic surgery where we just take the shit out. But at the same time, these are very deep. This is a deep process. This is not something that, you can self-study it, but I feel like at the moment, I'll probably change this, I'm sure, do another version. I prefer doing it live. I like to be with people when you're going through these ascensions. So that is that on that. I'm sure I will see you soon. Thank you for all your likes and comments, and lots of love.